Hello everyone, how are you today? Welcome back to Pacific Front channel. Here we are on the last Sunday of the month, where we are gonna take a look back on what happened in the Indo-Pacific region in February 2022. I'm not gonna lie, this month is very exciting, because the Indonesian Air Force will finally get a new fighter aircraft. But we already discussed it last week, so I won't talk about it again today. So, what other stories are happening this month? Let's find out in today's video. First story of the day comes from CN235. On 2 February, Indonesian Aerospace and Jet Investment Group SAL signed a MOU about the sales and development of the CN235 aircraft. Both companies will work together in terms of fulfilling the CN235 aircraft procurement plan, coupled with joint effort to increase its production capacity for the next 10 years. It was also reported that they will develop firefighting and medevac configuration for both civilian and military needs, along with strengthening after-sales service. For information, Jet Investment Group SAL is a Swiss-based investment company which is engaged in aircraft promotion and sales and a provider of financial solution for aircraft procurement for both government and corporation. On the same occasion, the Indonesian Defense Minister said that very soon the Ministry of Defense will sign a new contract for at least 10 CN235 and added that Indonesia needs more in the future. I completely support the Defense Minister decisions. As we already discussed a long time ago, this aircraft theoretically can perform a wide range of roles for both military and civilian use. But unfortunately, we haven't tapped its full potential yet. For a maritime nation with thousands of islands scattered across the archipelago, we need a lot of CN235 to connect people and send goods from and to smaller islands. Furthermore, the Air Force and the Navy still don't have ARM-MPA and AEWC aircraft, so it will be great if we can use the CN235 and the longer CN295 as the platform. More importantly, Indonesian Aerospace needs new contract to build more CN235. One of you guys told me in the comment that the Ministry of Defense hasn't made a new contract for the CN235 since 2018. This is very worrying, because if they don't keep the production line going, we can lose a generation of highly skilled engineers due to lack of orders. Hopefully, with the Jet Investment Group SAL connection and financial support, it will bring new orders and customers for the CN235. On 21 February, PT PEL delivered KRA Cakra submarine to the Indonesian Ministry of Defense, then to the Indonesian Navy after being overhauled in PT PEL facility. Some of the repairs and replacement carried out on KRA Cakra include the pressure hull, mechanical and electrical system, sensor and navigation system, and weapon system. Back in November, she underwent harbor and sea acceptance tests, also commodore inspection to ensure the feasibility of the result according to the contract. Normally, the overhaul process should be assisted by the SME, but due to the world situation, it can only be done virtually. The blessing in disguise from this situation is PEL engineers need to do it by themselves. And according to the PT PEL press release, this experience allowed them to master 65% of building new submarines, from previously just 35% when they assembled the KRI Alugoro. Personally, I have mixed feeling about this story. On one hand, big congratulations to PT PEL for achieving another milestone in submarine production. From this experience, they can sharpen their expertise for future submarine programs. But on the other hand, I worry about the age of the submarine itself and the safety of the crew. Is it worth doing another overhaul for a 40-year-old submarine? What do you think? Hopefully, the Scorpion submarine can be built before 2024 ends, so we can put KRA Cakra to rest peacefully. Moving on to Arafurasi, an incident happened between Chinese vessels and Australian surveillance aircraft. The Australian Department of Defense have confirmed that on 17 February, a P-8A Poseidon of the Royal Australian Air Force detected a laser illuminating the aircraft while in flight over Australia's northern approach. The laser was detected as emanating from one of Chinese naval vessels. In the press release, the Australian Department of Defense called it a serious safety incident and condemned it as unprofessional and unsafe military conduct. The Chinese vessel, identified as Luoyang-class guided missile destroyer and Yuzhou-class amphibious transport dock, were sailing east through the Arafurasi at the time of the incident. Both ships have since passed through the Torres Strait and entered the Coral Sea. A couple of days later, Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs responded by saying that the Australian aircraft was provoking Chinese warship by flying too close and dropping sonobuoy near their vessel, without admitting whether there was a lesser incident or not. Well, that's a generic Chinese answer whenever they did something wrong. They always responded by saying they were being provoked, they were right, and said other countries did worse to them. This incident should be a warning to Indonesia as well, because if we look at the map released by the Australian government, Chinese vessels clearly sailing inside Indonesia EEZ in the southern coast of Java and Timor Islands. Do we have naval or air assets operating in those areas? I'm not sure, but even if there is, I don't think it will be enough to deter and fight against Chinese vessels. Before we continue, if you find this video informative and useful, please leave a like so this video can reach more people. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. From Australia, we move to the Philippines. Our brother continues to amaze me with their modernization program. After they signed a contract with India to buy BrahMos missile, this time they plan to buy more Black Hawk helicopters from Poland. The contract value is estimated at $624 million, including 32 helicopters, spare part, and training. With these additional helicopters, the Philippine Air Force will have 47 S-70 Black Hawk. In the Philippines, the Black Hawk helicopters are used for troop transport, military operations, and disaster response, and meant to replace the aging UH-1 Huey. That's a big commitment for military modernization. I wish Indonesia can learn from other countries about modernization plans too. We're gonna end today's video from South Korea. The first 2 months of 2022 started great for South Korea's defense industry. After last month they signed a contract to export air defense system to the UAE, this month they signed another contract to export the K9 HPH to Egypt worth $1.6 billion, become the first African customer of the system. Negotiations reportedly began in 2017, while Egypt has been eyeing the K9 since at least 2010. With this purchase, Egypt will receive technology transfer as well as local production of the system. It was reported that the contract will include the K9 self-propelled howitzer and the K10 Armored Ammunition Resupply Vehicle or AARV. However, both countries didn't say how many systems will be procured. The K9 HPH can be considered a success product of the South Korea defense industry. Besides South Korea, it's also being chosen by Australia, Estonia, Finland, India, Norway, Poland, and Turkey, while the UK is also considering this HPH for their armed forces. Will the Indonesian Army be interested in procuring the K9 to replace the M109BE? There you have it, future plan for the CN-235, overhaul of Indonesian Navy submarine, incident between Chinese vessels with Australian aircraft, more Black Hawk helicopters for the Philippines, and the K9 HPH export to Egypt. What do you think about these stories? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoy it. Please visit my merch store, the link is in the description below. Subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one.